What's up guys, I'm Tuna Gamer back with another video. And today in this video, I am doing the losers of NBA free agency top 10. Let's get in the video. At number 10, we have the Boston Celtics. I know I put them as winners in the last video, but they were also losers. They did sign Enes Kanter though, and Kemba Walker. But because they lost Al Horford and Kyrie Irving, and also Markieff Morris. Because they lost those three players that really helped their team, they are losers. Now let's get to number 9. And number 9, Dallas Mavericks. And they weren't really winners and losers. I know they re-signed Kristaps Porzingis, but that's because no one really wanted him and he was a restricted free agent. So I don't know if it's a winner deal because you got him back, but it's also a losing deal because that's all you really signed. And you also signed Seth Curry. That's basically it. The Mavericks did absolutely nothing. They just got back Kristaps Porzingis, and Seth Curry came back to the team. I don't know. They had so much money they could have given to sign someone like Kemba Walker, and they didn't get Kemba Walker. They just re-signed Kristaps Porzingis. I didn't really like the Dallas Mavericks moves, but they tried. Alright, now let's go to number 8. At number 8, we have the Orlando Magic. I know I put them as winners for re-signing Nikola Vucevic, but they weren't really winners because they just stuck in one spot when they just drafted Mo Bamba last year that hasn't got to prove himself because he's been coming off the bench with Nikola Vucevic starting. I know they wanted to keep making the playoffs, but they aren't that good of a team. And Vucevic didn't really prove himself in the playoffs. So I just think it's a dumb move for the Magic to re-sign him. But I have to put them as winners at the same time because he's a great player. But they're also losers because you can't just do that when you're trying to rebuild, sign someone older when you have a younger player that is really good, just not giving him a chance. Because I think Mo Bamba will be as good as Nikola Vucevic if they give him a chance to start. And at number 7, we have the Washington Wizards. I am so confused at this team. Are they trying to rebuild or are they trying to make the playoffs? Because they signed Isaiah Thomas and re-signed Thomas Bryant. Obviously, Isaiah Thomas isn't completely back to his former self, but he could be this year. And then if the Wizards make the playoffs, that'll be a big shocker. And the Wizards don't want to make the playoffs. And they still got John Wall and Bradley Beal. So I don't know what the Wizards are doing. You got to trade Bradley Beal away so then you won't make the playoffs. There's just a lot of confusion with this team. I know they didn't make that many big moves. Like signing Isaiah Thomas is a decent move. Re-signing Thomas Bryant is a great move. But just I don't know. I would think you would try to get more younger assets in free agency, like try to get more restrictive free agents. But the Wizards did none of that. So now let's go on to number 6. The Los Angeles Lakers. They made a lot of good moves. They re-signed Rajon Rondo, they re-signed Caldwell Pope, and they re-signed JaVale McGee. And then they signed Danny Green, DeMarcus Cousins, and Avery Bradley, and others. After losing Kawhi Leonard, they signed these players, which are really good. I had to put them as losers, though, because they lost out on Kawhi Leonard. And now let's go to number 5. The Charlotte Hornets, because they lost Kemba Walker, but it was a great move for them to sign Terry Rozier, but I don't think he's the franchise player on this team like Terry Rozier think he is. But that's just my opinion, because when you look at the age groups of all these players, he isn't up there with the youngest players. But he's still pretty young. But Another problem is they did lose Frank Nowitzki, so they should have re-signed him. That is a big deal. And now let's go to number 4. San Antonio Spurs. Because they lost Markieff Morris. I know this is the only problem, but because they gave up a really good player on their team, just so they can get money to sign Markieff Morris and then lose him, that's pretty bad. And at number 3, we have the Phoenix Suns. They've been desperately needing a point guard for the last couple of years. And what point guard did they sign? Ricky Rubio. Ricky Rubio is a great player, but he isn't a starting player. His whole career, he's been a starter, just being passing the ball and sometimes shoots the ball. He hasn't really been a star player, but he's always been a starter. And now he goes to the Suns, which desperately need a point guard, and he's probably going to be starting. This is just really funny, but I don't think this was a good move for the Suns, because they could have went out for someone like Terry Rozier. Instead, Charlotte got him. So, I don't know what the Suns are doing. Ricky Rubio's older, so it doesn't make sense with their young core. Alright, now let's get to number 2. The Raptors, because they lost Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green. And now, number 1, we have the New York Knicks, because they did not sign Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant. I know they signed Julius Randle, which is a great player, and Markieff Morris, but because they lost those two, they are the worst loser in 2019 NBA free agency. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Jonah Gamer. Bye bye. This is the longest video I've ever made on this channel. Make sure you guys subscribe. Goodbye.